The Velox Prime. In Protea's hands, that ammo efficiency is going to be completely nuts, but this thing, I have high hopes for it because this should be really good. With its parts available from the Axii F2 relic, Axies, yay! As the uncommon for its blueprint, the Lith T12 will have the receiver as its common drop, and the Meso V9 will be the barrel as the rare drop. I obviously used this a lot more than I thought I did with 4 former on it, but the normal version, yes, they have kind of changed it a little bit because it has lost a little bit, tiny little bit, of its puncture damage because it's been put onto slash and impact, but its base total damage is still higher at 27 over the normal one's 24. Everything else has been buffed. The fire rate, the magazine capacity, this thing. If I put 4 former into the original one, this ain't gonna be junk. Especially not when it comes with 2 Vs and a dash from the get-go. Like a lot of weapons out there, the Velox Prime is just a buffed version of the Velox. Yes, this is very true. And you would think with all of these buffs from it being a prime version of the normal Velox, it's already better. But on the day of release on the 1st of May, ignore the fact it's the 11th, they instantly, near enough, released a hotfix that reduced its recoil. The Seer was meant to have it upon release, but it didn't. So they did add it, which was, I don't know why they did that instead of just leaving it and then doing it a little bit later, see if people even notice or if it needed it. But at the same time, it's great because the reduced recoil means better accuracy. So not only does it do more damage, it's more accurate. Even using Prime Target Cracker and Prime Pistol Gambit, you're still talking about a 40.2% crit chance with a 4.2 times crit multiplier. Not exactly what you would call a crit-based weapon, but throw on even just 2 of the dual stat elemental mods, so 1 element and status chance both of 60%, it'll go to 70.4%, so building it for status and crit kind of works. The Velox Prime is just better in pretty much every single way than the normal Velox is. This is expected because it's a Prime. Yes, okay, it's technically behind 3 different relics. Also depends how you look at it. Certain things I found said some of the relics that contain this weapon have already been bolted. I don't know where this information's coming from, they haven't. Yes, the barrel may be a rare. The other parts are easy enough to get a hold of. It's just the Meso V9 that can be problematic because it's a rare. The blueprint from the Axii F2 as the uncommon, okay. It's the relic itself that's a problem, getting it out of it, not so much, and the receiver will just drop for fun. Meaning, this thing is actually pretty easy to actually get a hold of. It's a 12-hour wait to build it, or you could rush it for 50 platinum, just set it off before going to bed or getting on with the rest of your day, and pick it up the next day. This is why I'm saying before bed. Set it off at the end of the day, and just, it's there for you when you want it the next day. Unless you can't wait, and then obviously you can rush it. Tenoroken cells, this thing, primes need to be better. They promised a long time ago they were going to make primes more important, because the only reason for a prime frame is when in the void you can go near those big orbs and get power from them. That's it. Everything else, they just look better, have an extra polarity, and are slightly buffed on their stats. I will admit, Protea Prime, hell of a frame. Still have her on 11 days later. I've actually not taken her off for anything. Don't think I will, because Protea was a frame, I keep saying frame, a frame that I really enjoyed. Prime version, exactly the same. The Velox, that was a weapon, Velox, depends how you want to pronounce it, Loved this weapon when it came out. It was great fun. But I hoped when they did this originally, they would turn around and release a dual-wielding version of it. There are so many weapons out there that people have turned around and said, a dual-wielding version of this would be absolutely amazing. It doesn't have to have increased much. They should have learned the hype behind the Twin Viper was amazing. When the Twin Vipers came out, it dominated all for a very short period of time, but it still did it. Will they? No. It seems to be beyond Digital Extreme to think about things like this these days, but it would be nice. There's no denying it. The Velox Prime, amazing. Normal Velox was nice. This does what a Prime is supposed to do. It is a great weapon, made better visually, polarity-wise, and damage-wise. There was no real downside to this. Having a weapon that reloads faster when the magazine is empty, has an inert 20% ammo efficiency in it, and gains an additional 20% ammo efficiency when in Protea's hands. Would love to have seen the Prime version of this, say 25% ammo efficiency when wielded by Protea Prime, or just an asterisk afterwards that says Prime. Something that just made this a little bit better in Protea Prime's hands rather than normal Protea, but at the same time, it doesn't really need it when you're talking about 40% ammo efficiency. Means you can do a lot of damage with this thing fairly effectively in Protea's hands. And since it's basically her signature weapon, this thing, definitely worth getting a hold of if you're running a Protea. Protea is an amazing frame, a very useful frame. One of her abilities is on... I'm not even going to call Frost the daily driver at this point, because yes, he is the go-to frame for me, but I've just been using other frames a lot recently anyway. But even when I do go back to Frost, he still has a Protea ability on there. The dispensary is on him because it is very, very useful, because that's the ability you rip off her. If that extra 20% ammo efficiency worked on any frame, probably still be using this most of the time, saving things like the Kuvanuko for much, much higher level stuff, because as we all know, with the Kuvanuko being the weapon everybody jumps to for doing everything these days, they're going to nerf it. This is not going to replace that at all. It's nowhere near as good, but it's a nice alternative for running anything under level 100, making it well worth getting hold of. And with that, we'll leave this off here. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.